There we go.
Welcome, everyone. We are live. This is Creating Refuge. I'm Tabitha Dial. I'm so lucky to introduce everyone to Circa today. Circa, thank you for joining us. What would you like our audience to know about you, who you are, what you're doing on Substack?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's absolutely an honor and a delight to be here with you. We were just connecting. I've been looking forward to this since we scheduled it. Because I've loved our chats, and so this is really fun. So I'm Circa Luca. My Substack is under my name, and also Everyone Needs a Therapist. I'm a psychotherapist, and my creative goal is probably the same across all boards, which is I love helping people to connect with themselves and discover the joy of who they are and remove anything that might be blocking that. So that's what I hope to bring to my Substack.
That sounds both very simple at once and also a little complicated, just because, adults, we make our lives more complicated for ourselves.
We're really good at that.
Yeah. But if you look at a child, they are naturally so drawn to the whimsical things, to the sense of wonder and joy that it sounds like you're looking to bring out in others.
Yeah, children live in that place of authenticity. They're open with their hearts, their curiosity. They bring that to everything. And it's such a joy-filled way to live. And then it gets mucky as we get older, right? So, and there's interesting reasons behind that when you delve into how that got to be and what are the reasons things got mucky. There's really opportunities for growth and strength in there, but it's a journey.
Mm-hmm. Anything worth getting not everything worth getting, but a lot of things worth getting are going to take some effort to get to them.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like writing a book.
Oh, yes. Our big topic for today.
Yes.
And I think that's why one of our first topics that we wanted, so we met earlier and bounced around some ideas. And one of the first things that came up was the importance of communities. Yes. And I think that ties in nicely with kind of the support that you need for writing and publishing a book. And it's not just the kind of support that's, oh, here's my manuscript, please critique it for me and give me feedback. Or I'm in the process of writing this thing and I just need accountability. I think communities can go a little deeper than that. And I was wondering what your own experiences might be with that.
Sure. I love the idea of community as a human and as a mental health professional, because the value of community is priceless. We know that as humans, we need that. And when you introduced that idea related to writing a book, my brain was like, wow. And it made me start really thinking about that. So yeah, in my own journey, I'm at the itty bitty beginning of my journey compared to you. You have 2 published books and a third one on the way. And I'm a hopeful first-time publisher, not yet quite there, but working on it. So you can speak to this much more expansively than I can, but my experience thus far has been the encouragement and support that comes from your loved ones, but also strangers and people you meet on Substack. That's like, just keep going. You've got this. Don't overthink it. Don't make it harder than it has to be. That kind of community is, I think, really essential in the process too.
I love that you tie it back to Substack and other platforms too. I really feel like there's this lens. Especially, people talk about, what is it, like the Instagram curation of your life, where everything's perfect on Instagram. But on Substack, we can be a little bit more vulnerable and honest, especially about creativity and writing. That's what so many of us are here to do. I love that you spun it back to that. And I think that, yes, our loved ones and our family can be supportive, but sometimes it's those strangers that aren't necessarily seeing who you've always been or want to keep you in a place where you used to be, but strangers who see your potential or want to see themselves kind of develop because you reached your goals. Like, oh, I could publish a book too. That's very
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it is. And the support from those communities, I think, can feel more genuine and authentic sometimes. Not that our loved ones don't have our best interest, but these are strangers who they're not worried that if they don't say the right thing, we're not going to be nice to them at dinner tonight, right? They're saying it because they genuinely want to. So it carries a different kind of weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, are you part of so I think, okay, earlier we were working out how you were using your laptop for today, and usually you access Substack through your phone. Is that correct?
I do both. I'm still figuring out Substack. So I have the app on my phone and I go on the website. I just open the browser on my computer. I can do more on my computer than on my phone.
Yeah.
But the phone is easier. So I'm juggling between the two throughout the day.
Okay. I'm just curious, are you using the sub chats either to join other Substack communities or to start forming your own? I think we're both pretty early in our journeys here.
Yeah, I have just discovered the chats, which I think are fantastic. Most of the ones I've joined have been like boosts where you can intentionally connect with other people who are looking to connect.
Mm-hmm.
But I've recently discovered a few others that are really related to that Substack person's profile and what they're looking to do. And they've been really interesting. And then my wheels started turning. Maybe I should start a chat. Maybe I could get that going. I love that.
Hey, all the good stuff happening for you is always a nice thing. Yes. And I mean, that's only going to inspire others, which we love.
Yeah. And in fact, we met, I think Substack put you in front of me. And so I found your page, but then I also saw your chat, which was the call for the tarot and tea leaf readings, so I met you in both ways at the same time. So your chat was really cool as well.
Well, thank you. It's always a work in progress, just like we all are. And any books we're writing are always works in progress too. Yeah. I think part of what brought us to talk about communities might have been how we develop skills that can then become something unique to present in a book. Mm-hmm. I know for yourself, your book is, what is it? Between the Cracks?
Where the Cracks Are.
Where the Cracks
very
are.
Close. Could be that too.
But that developed from your professional experiences, not necessarily, oh, I'm part of a community and now I know how to do this skill that's maybe fun to write about, but you have a skill that people can benefit from. And I love your phrase that everyone needs a therapist. I very much believe that.
I do too. Life is not easy. I always say Earth is not for sissies, right? Being a human it's an amazing ride, but it's not simple. So
yeah, so it's a perfect segue to the origin of Where the Cracks Are.
Yeah. So so Where the Cracks Are, just very briefly, it's a self-development book to help people decode the things that they're actually struggling with in their lives. A lot of times we, myself included, of course, we all get distracted by the struggles. They're very painful. They get a lot of attention. We spend a lot of energy trying to manage them or get them to stop and deal with all the feelings. What I've noticed, so I've been a therapist for 32 years, and what I've noticed is that people, when people only focus on the discomfort, they're missing something really important, which is why those things are happening in the first place. And those are the cracks. That's what we want to get to. So the discomfort is sort of the symptoms showing us that there's a crack, and the crack is really what we want to get to, is what is that crack inside of us. It came to me in an idea during a session with a client, actually. It was a client that I had worked with for several years, and she was a wonderful person. She had had a very painful childhood and was having these chronic relationship issues with partners in her life. And she, one day, she was working so hard at it, and she said, "Why does this keep happening to me?" And I got the whole, I said, it's happening to show you where the cracks are. Because it wasn't these guys, right? It was something in her that kept bringing these same experiences to her. And she needed to get to what was at the root of that. So that's really what the book is about and how it came to me.
That's amazing. So do you look at a bit of the neurological? Is it all sorts of, how would you maybe describe some of the chapters?
Yeah. So it's a decoding, basically. And so looking at, if let's say for this example that I was using, this woman, brilliant woman, very successful in her career, really well loved, well liked, and kept having these really traumatizing relationships with partners that were very unkind to her and felt really toxic. And she really felt that. And she wanted to keep focusing on what they were doing to her and how she felt and helping her. And of course, that's important. But the deeper issue was really what was going on inside of her that she kept drawing this to her. So we were looking at the stories that she would tell herself, and about her self-worth, and about what she deserved, and about her safety, and was it safe to have her needs and to put her needs forward, or did she have to just tolerate and swallow, which was what she was doing. And then we look at where does that come from, which was her childhood, her parents. So it's, helping her until she could heal that crack. She's going to most likely keep repeating those same patterns, because it's really about how she feels about herself, what she deserves, what love is supposed to feel like. So it's a decoding. By looking at the issues that are going on in your daily life, we decode what are the belief systems that are going on in there. How are you perpetuating those belief systems?
Yeah, we are so responsible for ourselves.
That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Don't we all just like to blame everything on everyone else? Because then it's not our fault. Yeah. Right. Who can I blame for this?
Or Mercury retrograde, or
yeah. Oh,
sorry, but
bless you.
So thank you. It sounds like it's a workbook too, then.
There are some spaces in the book, to work out, use examples from your own life and journal in there with some prompts to help you with your own decoding.
Nice. So is this something that you regularly made your carved out time every single day? Was it the same kind of situation, or how did you get it all written out? Because you have the manuscript completed, right?
The manuscript's completed. Yeah, it's 8 chapters, and it's got some resources at the end. Well, I'm curious to hear about your creative process. I'll just share a little bit about mine. So my creative process, I can't force it. It has to be authentic. I have to get into a certain space. Like I need some, obviously some quiet space. And I have to really just connect in with myself. And I find that I write best with actual pen and paper, not on the computer, for original ideas. Later, I can tweak on the computer, no problem. But getting the initial sort of meat of what I'm trying to express, I need to actually write with my hand on paper. And then, because I can hardly read it because it's coming so fast, then very quickly transcribe it onto the computer before I forget what it was that I just wrote.
Yes.
So I tried to let it be organic. I tried to let the work guide me. And then once it was written, then I put in more of the discipline aspect of going chapter by chapter and rewriting them so that they, editing them so that the language was cohesive and smooth and not redundant. And I find that putting my work away, I need to put it away. My 8th grade teacher, who I will remember forever, taught me this trick. She said, put it in a drawer and don't look at it for a day or two and then take it out. And boy, was she
Yes.
right, because it clear as day, I can see the things that need to change when I do that.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny. I was watching someone else's Substack where they dedicate the last segment to a creative writing exercise, which I think is so brilliant. But they said they often have a debate almost every live or every week or whatever with their fellow creatives over, are you writing your Substack article almost last minute, or do you like to let it sit there and return to it and finesse it? And it's like, I like to finesse it if I can, because of the similar early education that was brought up for me too. And I thought it was very valuable.
Yeah, it's amazing how it looks so different once it's sat by itself for a day or two and you go back to it. Yeah, I find that the best editing approach for me. But I'd love to hear, I think we wanted to also talk about your books are so exciting to me, and your talents and your tarot cards and your tea leaf reading. So can you share about any and all of the above?
You're so sweet. Thank you. So I'd say, so the first book that came out was the tea leaf reading book, Creative Divination, long title, Read Tea Leaves and Develop Your Personal Code. So it's funny, you're decoding and I'm saying, hey, develop your own code. I just realized that.
Yeah.
And we chose for the cover the little rabbit there and the star as two significant symbols that would be on your teacup. And it's a whole little teacup viewed from above. And the reason I started writing it was I was dealing with a marriage that was falling apart. And I felt at the same time that, hey, I have this skill that not everybody has. And I think they don't understand, my approach to it is a bit wider scope than just, oh, I'm going to look in your teacup and tell you exactly what's going to happen in your future. I think that's so narrow-minded and very scary to do to someone. So I wanted to give, and I also wanted to give something to the world that encourages creativity in general. So it was written to help people find symbols that spoke to them, and even for each exercise to be a journal reflection guide or something to invite a poem, for example. Like I just opened it up to the third one, which is called Interview with a Fairy.
Ooh.
So yeah, the idea is you can look at your tea leaves and act like you're reading for a fairy, because a lot of what people encounter when they want to learn a discipline like tarot, runes, tea leaf reading, oracle card reading is, how do I do this? And usually we just got to practice on ourselves or on our people closest to us. So I think it was fun to invent, okay, we're just interviewing a fairy. So what would that be like? And there are a number of exercises like that. But I also think it allows for a blank canvas for folks to paint their own little picture as a creative person, not necessarily as an intuitive exercise. And what was really nice, what was really cool about publishing it, because that's part of our evolution of publishing a book discussion today, was I finished writing it because I needed to sit down and get all this out to kind of not really escape my relationship, but at least cope with it on a day-to-day basis. So before I knew it, I had 79 of them. But for me, it's not big chapters. It's just, like maybe a page like that, maybe 3 pages, sometimes a meditation, sometimes an actual tip on my life experience of tea leaf reading to help people out. And I finished the manuscript, and then I don't know how long it took, but a little bit after that, one of the friends I had made just kind of out of the blue was like, hey, I'm publishing this tea leaf reading journal. And I'm like, do you want content for it? Because it was just a blank journal. And she said, no, it's just, I can't remember what the proper term is. She's an independent publisher, like low content or no content kind of publication. She's like, but I want to see this manuscript. So she took it on. She liked it. She took it on as a, how would she put it? A joy project. I thought that was so sweet. So she has since published other friends that we've had in common, and a couple other authors I didn't know yet. because she was called to them on a joy level, which so nicely ties back to what you do. So that was great. And it was a nice process she put together. She did the design on it as well as editing. So that was very lucky.
Or meant to be.
Yes. Well,
probably.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
And then when we had the proof copy in our hands, we met over sushi to celebrate. Part of the contract, she's so funny. Part of her contract was that we would have sushi. I would be my treat when the proof copy came out. So we did that, and we have it in our hands. And she says, cheese astrology next. So, yeah. So
that's where that came from?
She was the contract for the second book as well. Yep. It came from me working in the cheese shop. Gosh, I worked there for about 12 years total. But it was kind of, the height of that. And we had chalkboards above our little stations. If folks ever go into Kroger stores, there's a lot of them that have a Murray's cheese shop in there. And that's part of what I was doing. And with the little chalkboard signs, they want you to change them every now and then. And I saw cheese memes for astrology. This is your cheese that you're destined to get. And I extended it a little bit more by doing a pairing. So we were trying to get, the jams and the crackers and the pickles and the meats sold with the cheeses too. And she knew about that. She thought it was a kick in the pants, and it is. So this actually does the decans. So it's a little bit more than just the 12 signs.
I love both of these books because they're so rich in their material and your knowledge base, but they're also really fun and whimsical and invite the reader to be creative in their approach to it. So, which also is just your personality in general. I think that's how you're very inclusive and invite people to embrace their own creativity. So it's, those two books they're so exciting and interesting to me.
Thank you. Okay, so my message is getting across to the world.
It is. It absolutely is. And you have a third book in the works?
My third book is called Alert the Oracle, and it is a collection of poetry. Poetry is my main background, although I was a journalist for quite a while too. But what I've studied the most and done like writers' retreats for, that sort of thing, is poetry. And this one, this manuscript, I would say, took a lot longer to put together. Oh, absolutely did. So I think a difference between our writing is yours is maybe more chapter-based, although we're either nonfiction or poetry, so we're in under a similar umbrella. Yours, you want to have your chapters, and make sure you cover your subjects. Whereas mine are kind of organized into snippet entries, I don't have to go into great length. Yeah, there are some essays in here about, using cheese divination in different ways, but it's not a big chapter on it. And then with the poetry, it's just each poem at a time, but also how to get it to speak to each other. And one of the poems is from 2003, I think.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, so this is really a collection of poems that spans a large chunk of time. These are not necessarily.
Well, the main focus, though, is a little bit more tight, I would say. It's more about my experience being established in Kentucky, and then realizing, hey, I've got to relocate to New Jersey in order to make this relationship I love work. And over in Colorado, where I'm from, I'm dealing with the loss of my mom. So it's very interesting. So it's a time period of maybe a couple years technically, but it also does share my identity as a tarot and tea leaf reader in that. It was just a very interesting process to be a poet, to be a tarot and tea leaf reader, and an ex-journalist at this pivotal moment in a person's life.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, that's what I was speaking to just a few minutes ago about that creative approach that you have and welcoming the wholeness. You were just allowing the wholeness of you to be all these different pieces of you. And I think that's such a healthy approach for all of us to take when we can is to embrace the wholeness of us. We're not just one or two notes, but we might be this complex organization of different aspects, right? Like those are very distinct pieces you just put together, but that's who you are, and that's what you were going through in your life at that time. And to put that into poetry is beautiful. I can't wait to read them. I think I heard one of your poems. You were doing a live with someone recently, and I heard the recording. It was like a list, 11 things. I loved it. It's got my creative mind going. It's like I started walking around thinking, I want to make poetic lists of things. Loved it.
That's so cute. Good. Well, and that works really well for as like a strategy for therapy too.
Mhm.
Not just the basic, oh, it's an anxiety episode. I believe there's, I don't want to butcher it, but I believe it's something like find 5 things you can see, describe 4 things you can feel, and you go down to the harder to senses. But yeah, just for all sorts of ways of being therapeutic, dealing with grief, naming your gratitude.
Name your gratitude. And you can, even with that anxiety exercise, you didn't butcher it at all. And you can also then add in, can you name 5 things that you know make you safe right now?
Oh, wow.
Help the mind shift from the spiral of panic into, I'm breathing, I'm sitting in a chair, I have somebody with me, I have a loved one at home, I have a job, I have money in the bank, I have a car that works, or, whatever it is that the person can identify that brings safety. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Lists can be very therapeutic, very helpful in a therapeutic approach.
Now I want to write a poem like that.
Oh, yes, please do.
And then, well, what's so fun about poetry and even book writing is you can have this twist that's unexpected. And especially in poems, you want to get the readers with those twists. And then then they leave really with like, wow, they started it out well. The title was cool, but then all of a sudden did this thing. I need to share this,
Yeah.
That's how you get the hype. So we have a little bit of time left. If anybody has questions, we didn't even get through our entire list. I don't think we wanted to talk about just transformation in general and how writing is healing. And do you want to say anything as we're waiting to see if we have questions in the chat about how writing your manuscript was healing for you?
Sure. That's a great question. Thank you. Well, it was built up it strengthened my self-esteem because it helped me to really value my writing, which is not perfect or close to it, but I saw the evolution and I could see it getting stronger. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, the healing process, I think you can't write a book without becoming one with the book. So this decoding process and looking at what got me to the book, but also my own journey. I mentioned my own journey throughout the book. So although it's not an autobiography, but I do use examples of my own and clients throughout the book. And it makes you do the work. So I had a few big illuminations and aha moments of my own about my own decoding process and cracks as I was writing it. And I've had a few people read it and I could see them getting out paper and starting to write some notes at the journal sections. And so it's great to see that it's evoking some awareness in the readers.
I look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
I love the psychology stuff, but also that just sounds amazing. It's going to make a big difference out there. So congratulations on all that you have done. And yes, it sounds like it's just a matter of you finding the right fit and doing these final steps, which sometimes can be the hardest part.
Yeah. Yep. I can see that. Much to my surprise. I thought the writing would be the hardest part, and there's so much more that comes after that part, but that's okay.
I can speak to that with Choose Astrology, but that would be a whole nother live stream, which maybe we're going to schedule.
Yeah, we did. We talked about we might need a part 2, right? Because we enjoy talking with each other, I think.
Yeah. Decoding.
Yeah.
and creating and finding the joy.
Yeah.
Great. So if you guys are interested in subscribing to us, I know that on your mobile devices, you'll find a little doobly-doo. You can subscribe to both of us. We'd really appreciate your free subscription. And yeah, they can do. Do you have an email list that's still live for your next book?
Yeah, it's on my Substack. I'll pin it up at the top again. It's circalucabook, I think, .com, which is the wait list for the book.
That's brilliant. All right, outstanding. Congratulations on coming so far with your own authorship. I hope this is the beginning of all sorts of good things, both for you and hopefully for us. And thank you, everyone who joined us. We'll see you next time around.
Thank you so much, Tabitha.
Take care.